Evening all, so here we go with another tactics spotlight. Now, this map is a bit of a problem. I actually don't know what this map was called, and after literally an extensive 30 seconds of searching, I gave up and called it Planet P, because it does remind me a bit of the Starship Troopers complex. Anyway, let's get on with it. The crew location, I think, with this map is absolutely fundamental. Whoever controls that crew controls the controls the map. Because, let's face it, the other two crews are a bit distant. The crew to the right can also be down to the bottom, but to be honest, the central crew within the complex is the key to this whole map. In terms of sniping, not really a great wealth of sniping spots. Point 1 and 2 are obviously kind of the primary ones. 3 and 4 are always a bit exposed, but I wouldn't say this map's particularly great for sniping. But the hot zone is pretty obvious. B and that CIU are always where the combat happens. And then if you can hold those locations, the ability to extend into A and then also extend towards C, I think are key. But to be honest, the CIU and B are absolutely critical. In terms of spawn pad locations, well, generally they get dropped in the center or hidden somewhere in the center. And then really what I also find is people drop them outside the walls so they can basically get a quick respawn in. I always favor dropping them near B as a key point. So let's speed up some footage here. Now this is sped up. We do actually have the 5-point capture map, so we do have D and E here. We haven't really covered them, but basically they're satellite areas. To be honest, to win this map you need to own the complex, and the majority of the map does actually kind of hinge, I guess, on whoever controls those 3 capture points in the middle. So you can see, pretty standard. The blue team generally, because they have the distance advantage, will generally get the CIU and B. But keep an eye on that crew and keep an eye on point B with how many times they swap and how many times people are trying to capture them and so on. And I think this is because, you know, generally most players know that the absolute key to this map is that crew and point B. Now, interestingly enough, the turrets around the perimeter of this base also are probably a primary strategic resource for you, and I would stress it's a really good thing to try and get those turrets under your control. Firstly, they generally keep general vehicles away, but secondly, they also can be an anti-tank deterrent, so it's certainly worth doing it. As you can see, pretty much the gameplay style hasn't changed. Whatever objective they think they have to get, they'll run to blindly and try and get. So obviously, you know, cleverer players and cleverer corporations are really, cashing in on that kind of, right, you know that people are going to run to B, so therefore let's camp B. I think one of the key things with this map as well is the ability to really, hide around corners and really, gun people down. As a minigun and a shotgun carrier, I would say they're probably the best weapons for this. Lasers are pretty good in this map as well. If you're stood at B, you do have quite a good vantage on A and C, but I'd probably say the winners of this map are generally fast-moving shotgun scouts and probably slow-moving tanked minigunners, because generally they're able to, turn the corner and hit somebody pretty much full on without range being too much of a problem. The dead space between obviously A, C and B, and then the perimeters of B and E do mean that you sometimes need to have a bit of speed, but again, you can see here the map's turned in Blue's favour, so they're now obviously pushing towards D now. And this is quite interesting because the majority of their forces leave now the complex to try and get D. What you then see is that they're able, the red, if you like, are able to get back in and start to really kind of capture the base again. But it's pretty, kind of challenging map, this one. I think it's probably one of my favourites only because it is a tough map. And as you can see, sometimes it really does come down to, if people defend, you generally will do alright. But as you can see, there's a group of orange moving on the CIU, but blue look to have them pretty contained. It's not entirely convinced yet. Maybe if they get the crew. So you can see they're kind of camping the crew at the moment. And there we go, the crew is now gone. So now basically there is a spawn position in the base, and then B is being hacked. And gradually you're seeing a kind of pushback, if you like, from the team. But alas, it's all for nothing because the MCC battle is all but done. But hopefully you saw that as a key kind of consideration to go and get. So there we go, that was Planet P, as I guess we'll call that map now. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.